Mon County man in jail tonight with the highest bond ever set by prosecutors after confessing he killed his 3 sons here. Body camera footage shows authorities arresting Chad Dorman on Thursday. He tells him he's not going to hurt anyone as his 3, 4, and 7-year-olds lie dead in the yard nearby.
What are you doing, man?
Hey, are you copying all this?
Can I roll over? I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt nobody.
You got anything on you?
No, I ain't got nothing, man. Phone, that's it.
What's going on, man?
Nothing. Can I stand up? It's kind of uncomfortable.
I'm gonna
I
get
ain't
you
gonna
here
do
in a
nothing. I ain't
second.
running away. You can do whatever you want with me.
There's been a full admission in this case, Judge. The case is still new. We're still discovering facts. But the evil horror of what we know is impossible to process. In an act of just incomprehensible cruelty, the father that stands before you lined up his 3 young boys, and he executed them in his own home with a rifle. They were ages 3, 4, and 7, Judge. In an act of desperation to save her children, the mother at some point grabbed the gun that father was wielding to attempt to protect them. We know that one of the boys was able to flee into a field near the home. And again, we know from his admission, father hunted that boy down, drug him back to the property, and executed him in front of witnesses. The mother was shot through the hand in her attempt to protect her children. Judge, I asked the court in setting this bond to just begin to imagine their fear. This was the man that every day they woke up looking to for protection, love, guidance in all things. Man they trust more than any other person on earth. Person they rely upon to keep them safe from harm. He was their world, he was their guardian, and he executed them in cold blood. We know that from his admission. By that same admission, Judge, he has committed one of the most monstrous, craven, cowardly acts it will ever be our misfortune to see. To make things even more disturbing, Judge, this was no haphazard act. Again, by his own admission, he planned the events of this day. This did not happen on a whim.
Getting a call now from Misty advising that her grandfather told her that a female said that her grandfather was killing everyone in the house and that the female went to the fire station. Right.
Go ahead.
Just so everyone's aware, somewhere in the mix there's a 16-year-old female that ran from the original house that was going to the firehouse for help. Not sure where she's at now.
63. Everybody, we have the description on the mail for the shooting.
Negative. This was called out that the shooting was occurred by the fire station. They all are back inside of the firehouse.
72 to the SO.
Male shooting the male light green shirt, blue jeans on the front porch of 1965 Laurel.
3 months out.
3 children have been shot, not breathing. Additional call sounds like the shooter is the father of the children.
Before I tell you about this case, I'm going to tell you it's a really sad story. This man's so-called father took the lives of 3 of his children. Prosecutors say that all 3 of the children were shot execution style with a rifle. All 3 boys were discovered by first responders lying in the yard of a home. They were all pronounced dead at the scene. They said that all life-saving measurements were unsuccessful. The boys' ages were 3, 4, and 7. Those are the ages of my 3 kids. Again, trigger warning before I read this. In court, the prosecutors said that Dorman lined his 3 sons up, ready to shoot them. One of the boys was able to run into a nearby field, but Dorman chased him and dragged him back to the property before shooting him. I can't even imagine the fear that these boys were going through. And not just that, the mom witnessed the entire thing. I hope this man stays behind bars for the rest of his life. I just have no words, honestly.
Far most sickening, horrifying crime I have seen. can only imagine that the terror that these little boys felt and experienced as their father, the protector, was murdering them. Unfortunately, the mother saw this. You can imagine the immense trauma and terror that she experienced, and we will do our utmost within my office to see that this defendant never sees the light of day again.
So here's a neighbor talking about Chad Dorman and the kind of man he was. He witnessed for himself how cruel he was to his wife and his children.
He was very angry. Every day yelling at his wife, dogging her, downgrading the kids, just very angry. And if they didn't do what he said, and I've seen it firsthand, but I never thought that he would do that.
These three beautiful souls did not deserve this at all. The fact that he lined them up and did what he did, and they even said he planned it out for several months. So he was thinking about this for a while. And the mother tried her best to save her children, and I can't even imagine what she's feeling right now. But I want to say this, if you are a parent, I know what it's like to have children. It gets very overwhelming. But if you ever get to the point where you feel like you're going to end up hurting your children, say something. Don't be afraid, don't be embarrassed. No one will judge you. The only way you'll get judged if you do something heinous like this. But if you say something, maybe we can stop situations like this from happening. There are families out there that are willing to take children that are in danger. We don't know the motive, but I'm going to assume anger. Other than that, I will keep you guys updated with any new information, and let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Here's the body cam footage of Chad Dorman being arrested. I cannot show you the entire thing, and you know why. But I want you to see he doesn't care what he just did. He's more focused on the dog barking and everything else. It's pretty crazy to watch, but let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments.
Get your hands out of here.
72.
Cover 21. It's in the air.
There's got to be confirmed that there's people that need first aid, and that's the shooter who's not complying. They need to take care of the
I got it.
victims. They have to shoot him and shoot him.
Man, I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I'm completely sober. Never did drugs a day
63,
in my
we're
life.
21. Get the EMS over here.
Well, I did drugs when I was little, but I don't do drugs now. I'm sober. I'm not trying to fight you.
63.
Get your butt inside. Gatlin, get your butt inside.
We on primary?
Now.
Front yard. What are you doing, man?
Hey, are you copying all this?
Can I roll over? I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt
You
nobody.
got anything on you?
No, I ain't got nothing, man. Phone, that's it. I ain't mad. I ain't nothing. Just make sure that dog don't come out. I don't think he'll bite you. Just don't reach for him and try to grab him and pet him.
Right.
He won't bite you.
What's going on, man?
Nothing. Can I stand up? It's kind of uncomfortable.
I'm gonna get
I ain't
you
gonna
here
do
in a
nothing. I ain't
second.
running away. You can do whatever you want with me.
Here. You the only one else inside the house?
What?
You the only one else inside the house?
Yeah.
Sit down right here.
My daughter, she ran over to the fire department.
Sit down.
It's my stepdaughter.
Put him in the cage.
Here's the second part of the body cam footage of Chad Dorman, the monster, the so-called father, who unalived his three sons in a way that I cannot even describe on here. But before I show you the video, the cop and the way he reacts in this video and how he talks to the suspect is 100% how I would talk to him.
Just a little.
They're all being advised to come. They've requested 2 additional medics. There's also air currents flying, but they need an LV and medic coming. Yes.
Can you get the wallet out of my back pocket?
Shut up, dude.
21.
You had the right to remain silent. You fucking use it.
Yes, sir.
Take the call. I'm on the boss right now. I'm almost there. Yeah, 90 is where Chief and Captain's away.
May you three handsome boys be free of fear, be free of pain, be free of sadness. We got you down here, and God got you up there. Also remember, you can be by your mom's side whenever you want. She will know you are there, helping her on this path. May you guys rest in peace. And I'm so sorry for what has happened to you guys. No one deserves that, but we will get you justice. So here's more info of this monstrosity of a man, whose so-called father, Chad Dorman. When police arrived at the scene, all the boys were in the yard. But it is said by witnesses that 2 of the boys were unalived in the house. So that means Chad drug unalived baby boys outside in the yard. For what reason? We don't know. It is said that he planned this entire thing out for months. Again, we still don't know what made him do it. A lot of people are wondering if he has a record, and yes, he does. He faced domestic violence charges for allegedly choking his father in 2010. Back then, he was a teenager. His father was, I believe, 46 years old. The case was ultimately dismissed after his father failed to appear as a prosecution witness. It also states that Chad Dorman otherwise had dozens of entries in the Claremont County court system. Most of them were traffic violations, such as driving without a seatbelt or operating a vehicle unsafely. The most recent charge was in 2022. But again, if you don't remember, the neighbor was stating how he was an angry person, that he was always belittling his wife and hurting his wife and his children. I don't know why no one said anything or tried to intervene somehow or try to get the family help anonymously. Now, the tears he showed in court, I don't know if those were like he felt remorse tears or he was petrified to go to jail tears. However, that doesn't matter because this mother will never get to see her 3 sons grow up, because that man decided to take their lives because he was a coward. And I hope they get the justice they deserve. I hope this man is never going to see the light of day. And I can't say what else I want to say on here, but you know what I mean. Other than that, I will keep you guys updated with any new information, and let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments. So this isn't much of an update, but I just want to say this. I have been trying to delete so many messages about the mother and the police officers that arrived at the scene. People are saying that the mother didn't try hard enough. Are you kidding me? I'm pretty dang sure she tried everything she possibly could. She was also, shot in the hand, trying to grab the GUN from Chad, but more than likely he was way stronger than she was. And if you don't remember, like I said, 2 of them were unalived in the house, then drugged outside. So maybe by the time she tried to help those 2, it was already too late, because the GUN can unalive somebody in seconds, especially if she was not in the same room. And then for the police officers that arrived at the scene, saying that they should have done more, they tried all life-saving measurements to help these children. It is even said they held these children knowing there was nothing they can do. And I find that courageous, that they held them so that they knew they weren't alone, even if they were already gone, but at least they did that. And for these police officers and the mother, they will never unsee anything that day. They forever be traumatized. So the fact that people are coming after them is by far disturbing and pretty sad. I'm pretty sure they already feel bad that they couldn't do anything, and they already feel guilt, and then people piling it on top of everybody is just, come on. I'm pretty sure they want justice as bad as the mother and everybody else. Just stop with the comments because I'm going to keep deleting them. Anyways, the preliminary hearing is set for June 26th at 1 p.m. Other than that, I'll keep you guys updated with any new information.
There is a house built out of stone, wooden floors, walls, and window sills, tables and chairs warmed by all of the dust.
Show us your fucking hands now!
Stand up!
Stand up! Stand up!
Stand up now! Stand up!
Stand the fuck up!
EMS, the stage, and air crews are going to go ahead and fly whenever any units can advise.
Get your hands out of here.
72.
Tell them we're 21. It's in the air.
those guys can confirm that there's people that need first aid, and that's the shooter who's not complying. They need to take care of the victims. If they have to shoot him, then shoot him.
Man, I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I'm completely sober. Never did drugs a day
63,
in my
we're
life.
21. Get the EMS over here.
Well, I did drugs when I was little, but I don't do drugs now. I'm sober. I'm not trying to fight you. Gatlin!
Take us down 63.
Gatlin!
63, we're 21.
Knock
Have
it off.
EMS respond over here.
You're clear, they're being advised.
What are you doing, man?
Hey, are you copying all this?
Can I roll over? I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt
You
nobody.
got anything on you?
No, I ain't got nothing, man. Phone, that's it. I ain't mad. I ain't nothing. Just make sure that dog don't come out. I don't think he'll bite you. Just don't reach for him and try to grab him and pet him.
All right.
He won't bite you.
What's going on, man?
Nothing. Can I stand up? It's kind of uncomfortable.
I'm gonna get
I ain't
you
gonna
here
do
in a
nothing. I ain't
second.
running away. You can do whatever you want with me.
Here. You the only one else inside the house?
What?
You the only one else inside the house?
Yeah.
Sit down right here.
My daughter, she ran over to the fire department.
Sit down.
It's my stepdaughter.
Put him in the cage.
This is real. Can you get the wallet out of my back pocket?
Shut up, dude. You had the right to remain silent, you fucking user.
Katrina McLean is charged with trafficking stolen human remains. PBD workers near her business shocked by the indictment.
It's sick. That's sick.
Stolen corpse brains, livers, kidneys, and hearts came from the Harvard Medical School campus. 63-year-old Denise Lodge of Goffstown, New Hampshire, along with 5 co-defendants, including her husband, Cedric, the former Harvard Medical School morgue manager, violated the trust of the deceased and their families, all in the name of greed. That was the strong statement today from the FBI special agent in charge.
Human body parts, that's just grotesque.
Salem, Massachusetts mom Katrina McLean runs Cat's Creepy Creations, where she's accused of storing body parts for resale in the PBD shop.
She's never been in trouble before, and obviously this was very distressful. She just wants to be home with her family.
According to the indictment, Cedric Lodge stole dissected portions of a donated cadaver, including, for example, heads, brains, skin, bones, and other human remains, and transported them to his residence in New Hampshire. Activity dates back to about 2018. The indictment also says Katrina McLean shipped human skin to Jeremy Pauley in Pennsylvania and engaged his services to tan the skin to create leather. The Harvard Medical School dean called this a case of abhorrent betrayal. Now, according to the court papers, the former morgue employee manager allowed McLean to actually walk right in and pick out her preferred body parts.
The illegal sales from the morgue here went on for at least 5 years. Prosecutors say a morgue at Harvard became a macabre marketplace for heads, brains, skin, bones, and other body parts. The accused grisly shopkeeper, morgue manager Cedric Lodge.
Would you give anyone access to that morgue?
He walked past reporters after facing a judge today. His wife Denise was also silent. Investigators say she helped him sell stolen remains out of their New Hampshire home.
No comment.
Katrina McLean was one of the buyers, prosecutors say, accused of purchasing 2 dissected faces for $600. Do you have anything to say to the family? He's the owner of Cat's Creepy Creations in Peabody, and investigators say she stored and sold body parts out of the store. She's even accused of shipping human skin to this man in Pennsylvania to have him, quote, tan the skin to create leather.
From what I've seen in pictures before, maybe on her Instagram, they've had the bones and things, you know.
Investigators say the body parts came from cadavers donated to Harvard and used for educational purposes. But they say Cedric Lodge would open the morgue to let buyers browse.
It's an investigation. I guess it's going to play itself out in court.
Katrina McLean's attorney said little after her court appearance, but acknowledged that facing the disturbing charges has been difficult.
She's never been in trouble before, and obviously this was very distressful. She just wants to be home with her family.
Federal investigators say this disturbing conspiracy stretched from here in New Hampshire all the way to Arkansas, and that more than $100,000 was exchanged for these stolen body parts that included heads, brains, skin, and bones. Defendants were silent as they left federal court in New Hampshire and Boston Wednesday, accused of stealing and selling human remains.
Mr. Lodge, some of those families have called us horrified, wondering if it was their loved one. Do you have anything you want to say to them?
The conspiracy allegedly started with Cedric Lodge, the morgue manager at Harvard Medical School for nearly 30 years. Investigators say he stole human remains donated to the school for research that were set to be cremated after use, and instead sold them to oddity creators for the last 5 years.
What were you doing with these body parts?
Katrina McLean of Salem allegedly purchased dissected faces for $600. FBI agents were at McLean's Salem home back in March and at her business in Peabody, Cat's Creepy Creations, where they say she sold some body parts. According to her social media pages, she makes creations that shock the mind and shake the soul, including bone art.
Did the people really understand the breadth of what they were doing was wrong?
This indictment alleges McLean resold the stolen body parts to Jeremy Pauley of Pennsylvania, who was previously charged. Messages she sent to Pauley read, "Wanted to make sure it got to you, and I don't expect agents at my door."
It's disturbing. That's about the only word that can be used, I think. It's just for money. Typically, the individuals who donated their body parts really were trying to do something kind and have them donated for science. And instead, they're being sold on the black market.
And all of the defendants who were arrested were allowed to go home after their first court appearances. Next, they'll all have to appear in federal court in Pennsylvania. Time and date to be determined.
What's wrong with you? What?
Talk to my daughter.
Hurt her?
Please.